Who is Corey Edwards?
He's a Southside Crip gang member. He was in one of the birth crew. So he hung out with all them guys.
Right. And they found the gun that was used on Tupac in his backyard, right? Because he was in Vegas with, Orlando and Keefe D when they shot Pac, right?
Yeah, what happened was my partner, Tim Brennan, and I think it was 2007 or 8. I'm not sure what year it was. They started a task force on Biggie Smalls, LAPD did. And part of that investigation, they believed that they were connected. So they started investigating the Tupac crime, murder. And so what my partner did is during that time period, he went back and start going over every gun that we recovered in Compton, every 40 caliber Glock that was used. That was the kind of gun that was used in the murder. So he came across this particular Glock, and the way it was recovered, it was in his backyard buried, and they had like a pit bull dog or something like that. And he was digging up, and he dug up the 40 caliber Glock. And so then they called the police and they turned it in. The cops at the time didn't put two and two together. They were just street cops. They didn't know what was going on. But Tim got the gun, and they tried to test it, right? So the first initial test, he came back positive about, hey, that's the gun that was used in Tupac's murder. So, and then what happened after that? I have no idea. Apparently it wasn't the gun. They tested it again. So, I mean, I wasn't a part of that task force, but that's what I was told by Tim.
When Tupac got killed, y'all had a gang sweep, right? Tell me about that.
Okay, like I say, man, after the Tupac murder, we were just getting inundated with shootings and murders going back and forth. And part of the way that we dealt with this to try to quell the violence in Compton, that's what we did. We did these things called multi-gang search warrants, or we'd put together a multi-gang search warrant, and we'd hit houses on both sides to try to put people in jail, take the guns off the street, and quell the violence, right? So we did the same thing on this, but this was a massive operation. This was different because we did a 38 location search warrant, which really back then, not too many people have done that. I mean, like I say, we had people, hundreds and hundreds of police officers, the DEA, the FBI, the DOJ, the sheriffs, LAPD. It was a massive operation to put together that Tim and I and the rest of the guys in the gang unit did. And one of the key reasons we also did that, because we were trying to help Las Vegas too, because we were getting all this information that, hey, we know who the people were in the Cadillac, Keefe D, Orlando, Bubble Up, and Big Dre. So what happens is we hit their houses too with a search warrant. And that's the way you solve these gang murders, because trust me, I've been doing this a long time. You get everybody down at the station, you go after the weak link. So what we did is we put together this massive search warrant, hooked everybody up. We covered tons of guns, and on both sides. We hit Maud Piru, we hit Southside. Like I said, 38 locations, but we had Orlando, we had Big Dre, we had Bubble Up, I think. We didn't find Keefe D that night, though. So we invited Las Vegas detectives to come down, and here's your chance to go at these guys. But they only sent down 2 detectives, right? And at the time, Las Vegas in 1996, man, they were just starting to get gang activity in their city. They didn't know much about handling, gang cases like we did. We did it every day, right? So we set up all the interview rooms for them, and they kind of went in and talked to these guys, and they really didn't know how to talk to them or go at them. And they didn't say anything, and they kind of just left, And that's one thing me and Tim, we kick ourselves in the ass for is, hey, we're not perfect, but we should have asked them, because it's their murder. You don't step on somebody else's murder. You have to ask permission. And we should have said, hey, man, let us go after these guys. We know how to do it. We know how to talk to them. We know how to go after the weakest link. We should have did that, but we didn't, And that's one thing we always kick ourselves in the ass for not doing. Because it was, again, they didn't ask us to do that. It's their case. It happened in Las Vegas. So we have to live with that. So,
And the war broke out, right? Days after Tupac got killed.
yeah, after getting information that Southside Crip was responsible for Tupac, again, 2 days later, it started. And like I say, we had 11 attempted homicides. We had 3 murders. It was going back and forth for 10 straight days. So this, being a gang expert in Compton, this kind of reiterated the fact that, hey, Southside Crips was responsible because who retaliated? The Mob Piru. Mob Piru is Suge Knight's bodyguards. That's who he affiliates himself with. So the information we're getting was true to me, right? Because we actually did have this 10-day war. So